Should 8-year-olds have phones? And should the bedroom really be where teenagers hang out? Join us today on Hot Flash as we talk about the parenting trends that are happening today. Welcome to Hot Flash. I'm Kathy Hembry. I'm here with Kim and Tony, and today we're going to be talking about common or modern parenting trends, although that bothers me because I think they just recycle through the generations. Things come back. So let me say a couple words. Helicopter parent. What does that mean?
Sounds like hovering to me.
Oh, hovering. So what would be the dangers of being a helicopter parent?
Well, your child never has opportunity to experience failure to learn what that feels like and how to overcome.
Right, because we learn through failure.
And they'd be so dependent on you as a parent. They wouldn't know how to do things for themselves, I would think, if mom or dad's always rushing in to rescue them.
Well, for those of you that want statistics, the first empirical study is coming out on the dangers and the long-term negative effects of helicopter parenting. And it says we have college kids that don't know how to get themselves to college, enroll in college, and they expect to be paid like an executive salary but not do the work, because they just think it's going to be provided for them because it's always been provided for them. They've never had to learn to struggle to make decisions and figure things out. Okay, so then we have the dolphin parent. What's the dolphin parent? I'm the one that knows that, right? Dolphin parents are the ones that let their children explore and go. It sounds very nice. Safe environment, but exploring and going. And that really does sound nice.
Well, I just have an illustration about that. I was on a boat watching a dolphin watch with my sister over vacation, and we got to actually see a pod of dolphins. So when I think about dolphins, and in this pod there's maybe 50 dolphins, you saw the mothers with their babies next to them. So it was almost like they were experiencing things together. So I don't know if that brings a little bit more of an illustration to what that is.
It says dolphin parents have the highest expectations for their children and intend to guide them toward health, happiness, and a balanced life with meaning and purpose. That in itself sounds
sounds nice. It sounds like they're doing things together, but I don't really know how does that differentiate the parent and the children, I guess, maybe.
Well, it says dolphin parents don't live in fear of modern day pressures. They don't overgather. They don't overprotect. They don't overcompete. It's a journey through the waters that they choose to go through. Well, again, I think that one of our first shows on Hot Flash was balance and order. If you do not have balance and order in your life, you're going to have body odor. You're going to stink. And in your family, if there's too much freedom and there's too much restriction, you're not going to have balance and order. So then we talk about the jellyfish parent or the milquetoast parent, and all I can think about is that they sting you or they have no idea what they want.
They both sound bad.
They both sound bad. Don't they sound bad? But I wanted to get into, girls, with you, things that you observe. For me, as the mother of a teenage daughter and a teenage son, this is the parenting trend of today that I do not agree with. They put their TVs in their rooms, they put their music in their rooms, and they put couches in their bedrooms, and then they make their teenage bedrooms the social gathering for their friends of both sexes, their hangout place. That is a parenting trend I think is very dangerous. How about you?
Yeah, it's setting them up for failure.
Big time failure.
Well, here's my question. Is the parent home?
Even if I'm home, I would not let Cassie go into a room with a boy, because even the best kids who have been kept in a closet all their life, God created us as people of affection and intention. And when those hormones are raging, you're setting your daughter up to be taken advantage of or to be very aggressive herself, to put a boy in her bedroom. The best kids in the world, somebody will be doing something with somebody within a few days. And unless you're up in that bedroom with them, you could be down in your kitchen and a whole lot could be going on up there.
Okay, wait. Now, would you just allow a male and a female in the bedroom? Or what if you had, like, rules? Like, if you had a group of kids in there, I would say that's probably a better place for them to be than out somewhere else, somebody else's house, or...
I think out in my family room with the lights on and everybody sitting upright is pretty good. I walked in
Yeah.
and saw them kind
Or
of
make a place
lounging
in
on
your
the
house.
couch and thought, what's
Kids
that all
are,
about?
I mean, if kids want to be alone, they're going to find
They're gonna
other
find a
places.
way.
That's true. There's nothing
Right.
new under the face of the sun. Things were going on even before that. My grandma used to say the first baby can come in any time. The rest take 9 months.
I guess I'm not
That's a
totally.
great- Did you hear that? Did you laugh at that? That was that is true. But we don't want to set them up for that to happen.
No, and I'm not totally against that, only because like my bedroom was like that, but I didn't have boys in my bedroom.
Yeah, I think your girlfriends can hang out
Yeah,
with you.
so I think it's
a
fine
social
if you
place.
have like if it's the social place, but I definitely think as a parent you've got to have boundaries, and I think that's
She only
so
has a
important.
15-month-old boy. Let's check
yeah.
back
He's
with
not.
Hot Flash in
Well,
about
no, he is
12
not going to
years.
have girls in his room.
See, oh my God. Okay, how about this one? I still have a landline. We're going to come back after the commercial and talk about how young kids should have cell phones. Okay? Join us. We'll be back in just a minute.
And when you stand with Christ, you're actually facing the danger, but it's not dangerous. Yeah, that's how life is out on the edge. All great journeys begin right here at the base camp. And all great climbers are mentored by a team leader. It is our goal to come alongside of you as we lead you into service for Alaska's youth camps.
This is an opportunity for you to give back in a land far to the north. The last great frontier, Alaska. You're invited to come with us on an Alaskan missions trip to help build, empower, and invest in the lives of others through teamwork that will enrich and change the lives of today's troubled youth. We need men and women who are committed to making a difference in the lives of these kids and help them discover that God has a plan for their lives.
Come with us to Alaska as we invest in Alaska's youth camps.
Welcome back to Hot Flash. Today we're talking about parenting trends, and if you have a comment on trends that you think are good or that you think are dangerous, please email us at hotflash@thestreamtv.com. So back to you girls. Tony and I got into it. At 15 months, Dominic's okay if he has a girl in his bedroom, but in 12 years, I'm going to be
I'm
over
the
at the
only
house.
one allowed in there.
Yeah, she's the only girl allowed
Moms
there.
and grandmas.
Okay, and Kim, you mentioned having binkies at 6. Now, were you really meaning 6 or 7 or 5, or is it the principle of?
Well, right. I mean, you generally, it just seems like there's a certain age where some of those childish things should be.
I gave my binky
that's
back
right.
and took my stuffed animals. Was it okay? I mean, I slept with my stuffed animals till I was 12. I babied them.
I used to
diapered
suck
them
my
and-
thumb till I was 7,
So, but maybe,
but not in public.
but did they try to encourage you to stop sucking?
Oh
Go
yeah,
ahead and cough it out, take a
no. My
drink.
dad would come over and yank
Yeah,
my
go ahead.
thumb out. He would just yank
He'd
the
come
thumb out
take
of my
your
mouth.
thumb out, so he tried to distract you.
I would try to hide it under a blanket, and he knew exactly what I was doing.
Okay, well,
So yeah, I had to learn the hard way. I wasn't allowed to go to Kennywood if I was sucking my thumb.
I didn't let my kids go to Kennywood till they were
Kennywood's
12
an amusement park for those of you not in Pittsburgh.
with great
But
roller coasters.
yeah, but yeah, he would punish me.
He punished you for sucking your thumb. Well,
Yeah.
I just think you encourage them to grow up in appropriate stages.
Well, it's
but
embarrassing, sure.
it could make your teeth stick out, but okay.
I think my teeth are fine.
Your teeth
Don't
are
judge.
fine. Okay, don't judge. No braces. You were lucky.
No, I didn't.
Okay, you were blessed. Let's go to cell phones. Now we're in this world of technology, and there are tablets, computers, and laptops, and iPhones, and iPads, and what else am I missing?
No,
And
all
I'm
there.
sorry,
Everything.
And in they all do the same thing, pretty much.
pretty much, yeah.
You get on
Okay,
the internet.
So why do you have to have 5 of them? And why does every kid have to have 5, all of those? But let's limit it to cell phones. I happen to still have a landline because I get bad reception in my house, and I have a mother that lives far away, and I want to be able to talk to her. But lots of people, like, you don't even have a landline in your house anymore. You have a cell phone. So it's not like if Dom went somewhere and he could say, can I call my mom? They might not have a phone in the house to call. So Dom might have a cell phone at some age. Do you have any idea what that age is going to, what do you think is, I know it might change, but for right now, what do you think is the right, appropriate?
Maybe 13, 14, because that's like,
Okay.
oh, Kyle says higher.
Because I think that they are
But I
going
want
to
to know where he is.
and they're not going to be away from you really a whole lot before that, where they won't be at
Right.
school or under the
Well, when he's
you know.
starting to play sports or whatever he decides to do after school, I mean, I'd like to know, I need a ride home from school. I guess he could go to the office and call from there, but,
He could.
you know.
Well, he could.
Maybe one of those little track phones that just has like 3 numbers in it.
That my daughter would say, well, if that's what you're getting me, I don't even want one. I don't want a phone. She,
Fine.
they're snappy. Good. Remember that. Fine.
Yeah.
But, you know, but truthfully, until they're 12, 13, 14, they're not going to be away from you really a whole lot, where they're not going to be at school or at church or with a family member. And so that way they don't need one,
Right.
you know. Okay. But then you brought up something. You said, but when he gets to be 12 or 13 and choose, like, he decides what he wants to do after school. Let's get to over-scheduling.
Okay.
Does he really get to, does he get to decide everything he wants to do? So he wants to play soccer 5 days a week and basketball on the weekend, and he wants to be a Boy Scout, and he wants to have a part-time job, and he needs to be with his best friend for 2 hours a day, and he needs to watch TV an hour and a half a day, and he, you know,
You're making me tired.
I'm tired, I'm exhausted. And they are too, kids are too.
Well, I don't know. Kyle and I had this conversation. We want him to try different
Right.
sports because,
Sure.
you know, or
You're gonna
whatever
encourage.
activities you want to encourage that. But you have to consider your own schedules too.
I think the question was, does he get to decide how much he wants to be involved in? I mean, I think we think by providing opportunities, we overschedule. And here goes, you know, the old mom talking to the young moms. Cassie and Frankie each took piano lessons. Cassie seemed more interested in it, so I exposed them to that. Cassie took a year or two. Okay. Frankie wanted to be a Boy Scout. He went to the Cubs, the Wolf Pack. That was the first one. Then after that, he didn't really want to do that, but he was exposed to that. They both have volunteered because I want them to know the world is not all about them. It's about others. I think that you expose them and give them opportunities. And yes, if they excel at it or they really like it and you can provide it, that's great. But I don't think that they have to. In my opinion, I may be wrong. I've been wrong before. I don't think every child has to play a sport, has to play an instrument, has to go to every museum in the world,
Right.
has to take foreign trips, has to speak a language, because they won't be successful adults if they don't have that. I don't think
Right,
that's
no.
true.
Right. Well, and I feel
Okay.
like
Oh, wait,
there's-
wait. They're saying stop. We have to have a commercial. We don't want to miss what Kim has to say. We'll be right back.
All the Quick Study television programs in their full length are uploaded on YouTube 1 week before they air. Watch Quick Study on YouTube, and you can embed Quick Study in your website from the YouTube links.
Welcome back to Hot Flash. Kim, we cut you off before the break, and you were talking about...
Oh, well, I was just going to agree with you as far as I don't feel like a child has to be involved in, you know,
everything.
or even in anything, really. I mean, I feel the pressure is, you know, oh, what does your child do, you know, outside of school? Well, right now, my child doesn't do anything. All 3 of my kids really
play.
don't. Right. They go outside. They play.
Kids, yeah.
You know, they do
They pick
childlike
up
things.
leaves. They look for bugs. I told your kids that
Right.
every rock they pick up, they'll find a worm. I kept them occupied for 2 hours last spring.
So, not that that won't change, especially if they show an interest or want that social. But each child's different. Like, I can see how one is probably never going to want to do extra stuff, where the other one's going to want to be in everything.
So their
But it's-
personality has a lot to
yeah.
do with it. I have several children. One was very content to watch TV and play games, and the other one didn't want to sit still. Those were their personalities. You know, I remember I threw a birthday party for Cassie a few years ago. Her birthday's in March, so sometimes her birthday could be outside in a picnic area, and sometimes it's snowing here in Pennsylvania in March. So I had this outdoor party planned with squirt guns and, you know, jump ropes and tug of wars, and they came and there was snow on the ground. So I put colored water in their squirt guns and I said, go out in the snow, and the first person that can draw a star, a heart, a circle, and their first initial of their name, that was the one that wins the party. Okay, so we did that. Then we had tug of war in the snow and they all fell into the snow, whoever won. It was, fun. Anyway, one of the moms said to me at the end of the party, thank you, Kathy, for having this retro party.
Retro.
What was she really saying to me?
You didn't spend like thousands of dollars on a birthday party.
I didn't.
Oh, that's an interesting trend that we could talk about.
We're
for
going
a
to
few
talk
minutes.
about that. Okay, so do you know what? Now, some of you are very young moms. My mom was a mom at 18, and some of our kids are full grown, but I still have this 17-year-old, so really I am an old mom to her. Okay. Do you know what I thought when that young mom said, "Thank you for having this retro party"? I was really glad I was not this stupid mommy that spent $900 on a 10-year-old's birthday party. Don't fall into the trap of feeling that you have to follow all these trends just because.
Well, aren't Sweet 16s like weddings now? I mean, you have to take out a small loan.
Honey, it's unbelievable. School dances are like like weddings right now. It's
Yes.
absolutely ridiculous. I remember saying something about wanting to go to Disney World. Well, if you live in California or Florida, your kids might get to go. And if you have relatives that live there, you might get to go. And even when they get older, you might plan a family vacation, save your money, and go, and I'm happy for you. But I remember my friends said, well, we have to take them to Disney World. Their child was 3 years old. And I thought, well, do you want to go to Disney World? Like, really, are you the one that wants to go see Mickey and Donald? Because that 3-year-old is not going to remember that trip to Disney World. We were speaking in Florida, and we were there, and we had Chad and Kyle, who were teenagers, and Cassie and Frankie were 6, 5, and 6. And that was really as young as I thought we could handle taking them to Disney World. And we went one day. Frankie remembers one ride. Cassie does not remember Disney World. Now, our family as a whole, did we have a good day? Yes, but I thought, why do we give into the pressure of, well, you didn't do this for your child? Did you love your child? Did you protect your child? Did you provide for your child? Did you lead them in the way of the Lord? We are Christians here on this show. We're going to get back to God's Word. Robin, that's Rodney's sister, Rodney from Quick Study, tells a great story about the day that Derek, her firstborn, was born. They handed Derek to her in the hospital, and she thought, I babysat before, but no one younger than 5. I've never changed a diaper. I just had a baby. How am I going to know when he's hungry, when he's hurt, what he's saying, when he's crying or squealing? And she was really a little panicked that she did not know how to be a parent. And she said, but my daddy had taught me to read God's Word, so I reached over and I grabbed God's Word and I opened it up. And I'm reading from the NIV, Psalm 32:8, and said, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go, and I will counsel you with my loving eye. And she said this calmness just came over her, that even in parenting, she doesn't have to worry about the trends. She doesn't have to worry about what she does or doesn't know. She knows God. And she says his promise to her that he would guide her, that was applicable to parenthood too. And I think that we as Christians need to remember that he's there. Once again, his word has all the answers. It's a lamp unto our feet, a light unto our path. Come back. We'll be back for one more segment on Hot Flash today. If you have a comment on parenting trends, some you like, some you don't like, some that have worked for you, some that haven't worked, share them with us at hotflash@thestreamtv.com.
Hey guys, I just want to tell you today about a little book. It's inexpensive, it's simple to read. You can read it in about 45 minutes, taking your time. It's a book God gave me about 6 years ago that talks about the struggle we go through between being on the branch as a budding acorn and Father Tree saying, it's going to be amazing, wait till you see what I do. And then you come to in the dirt on the ground. And there is a vision that's given you and I for life, a dream from God, and we hold it in our heart, but there are times to get to that dream, that vision has to die. The book is called Acorn Dropped, and it's about that season when you are in the dirt on the ground. It was written when I was in the dirt and on the ground, and my family and I held on and believed for God's best. If you've been discouraged, if you've been through a tough time, I promise you this book will help you.
Joining us today on Hot Flash. Today we're talking about parenting trends, and we have about 2 minutes left, girls. So what do you think we should think about parenting trends?
Okay.
What do you think? I
What do
think
I
they come and go.
I think that at the end of the day, you're the parent and you're going to be the biggest influence on your child. Whether your child's in that stage where they don't think, they don't
Right.
think you're right about anything, you're still the biggest influence in their life. So if you're living your life for the Lord and you're walking towards Him and you're doing, what you said in Psalm 32:8, just keeping your eyes on Him and He'll guide you, then all of that will fall into place, I believe.
Yep. And you
Amen.
have to be intentional. You can't just let your child rear itself.
No, you're the
it's your-
parent for a
right,
reason.
There's a reason. And
It says,
God,
train up a child in the way he should go. When he's old, he won't depart from it. It doesn't mean he won't test you, question you, go his own way sometimes. But if you, as a Christian parent, are directing him toward the Lord, you're living your life out for the Lord in front of him, being that example and model. And then you trust God. You seek his word and his face, and you trust him. He will instruct you. He loves your child more than you do. And he loves you because you're his child, and he's going to give you the guidance you need to raise your child. I think when we talk about parenting trends, they come and go. Styles come and go. I'm old enough, I've seen the same style come 3 times now. The 60s and then in the 90s again, and now they're back. And I'm laughing, I've worn them 3 times in my life now. Well, that's true with parenting trends, because there's no one set way with each of those circumstances that's necessarily right or wrong. There's a lot that's stupid, there's a lot that's wise. Hopefully we will seek God because he has the answers.
Right, and I think you said it, wise. Be wise when you're choosing those things. Maybe some things work, some things don't. Some things you could probably just look at and say, no, it's not for me, because I know what God's word says. I just think you seek wisdom, and he'll give you that.
And you know what? You have different children. Think he gives
Yeah.
it to you. Sometimes he speaks to you in a still small voice. Sometimes he screams at you through his word or nature. The same with your kids. One of my children would not listen unless you were really almost yanking him over here and saying, look me in the eye. And the other one, you could have just raised your voice a little or just given him a look and he would have stopped. So trust the Lord. Trust in the Lord. Acknowledge him in all your ways, and he will direct your paths. And when your children fall forward, they won't fall forward and roll out of control, because the Lord has ordained their days, and he's going to keep them in the palm of his hand. He's watching over them just like he's watching over you. So once again, at Quick Study, we end up with girls topics that have us flustered, but really we're to rest, we're to relax, we're to calm down, we're to put our anxieties on him because he cares for us. So we hope today you will think about parenting trends. We hope that you'll realize that God is the best parent of all, and if we follow his example, you'll do okay too. Let us hear from you with your comments and your helpful criticisms at thehotflash@thestreamtv.com. We hope you'll join us next week when, girls, we're going to be talking about 5 kinds of crowns, and which one are you going to have?
Oh.
Join us then.